Okay, guys, so we're back. So now we're looking at graphics, and as I said a few times before, the file that is in the folder that I gave you for graphics editing is in some odd language for some reason. I don't know why that is. So first, I'm going to show you how to get the proper tool, and then we'll go from there. So if you take a look, see here, it's called, go to romhacking.net and look for YY-CHR, okay? It's a free download. I don't know why, but they have this human check. You just got to copy this text and paste it into here, and it works, and you'll download a file. So what I'd like you to do is go to the graphics editing folder, and we're going to replace whatever's in there. Oops. Oh, close. So here's what you do. Go to your folder. This is where your hacking stuff is, right? Delete all this stuff. You don't need it. Delete. And then the file that you downloaded from that site, highlight everything and drag it back into that folder. This should work. This should have it in English. I don't know why. It's the English. You can see by the folder name, it's the ._en for English. So it might be something to do with the school board's computer that we had that issue. There we go. It's all in English. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to do some really basic graphics editing stuff. This part gets a little bit finicky. So therefore I challenge whoever wants to do it. But I'll show you how to do some basic stuff, and then I'll show you if you wanted to bring something into Photoshop or GIMP. I'll show you some basic considerations and things to keep in mind for that. I have done a little bit of it, but it's tricky. So we're going to go open, and we're just going to open our ROM file. That's as easy as it gets. And we're going to open the most recent version of it too. The one that we are happy with so far. Now if we scroll, this is all looks like gibberish, but if you scroll down, stuff starts to look like graphics for a game, right? The most important thing with this is make sure you change the pattern here to FC for Famicom NES times 16. It's just the way that it organizes the information. Okay, so there's a few different things you can look at. Notice here, here's a bad guy of some sort, I'm guessing. All sorts of goodies in here. What I want to look for is the treasure chest and the graphic for the letter. We'll do some quick hacks just to show you how it's done. Oh, looks like I missed it. It's probably way up at the beginning. There's a letter. Okay, let's edit this letter and see what happens. So you'll notice that when I click here, what it gives me is actually 16 tiles of graphics data. Okay. And the first thing to point out is in this program, when you click down here, you're not actually picking the colors that the game will render the graphics in. That's a whole other thing that we're not going to get into. What you're doing is you're picking the palette that the Nintendo is going to use to decide what colors go where. So to explain that better, hopefully, the color black or the leftmost color in a group of four, because you notice whenever you click somewhere, you always get 4 colors. You don't get 1 color or whatever. You get 4 colors. The color that's always to the left of that selection, the furthest left, is always what is used for transparency. So if I click here, the standard set black is what will be transparent. So that means that if I erase, if I use black to paint over these pixels, what'll end up happening is it'll be invisible. Something that I thought would be neat is let's customize the letter. So if we notice that the paper color for this looks like this color, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to click in here to erase the lines of text or the stuff that's supposed to look like lettering. all this really gives you an appreciation for how, like, talented the pixel artists actually need to be. Like, you look at it like it's simple. So let's do this. Oops. My idea was just to turn it into a big exclamation mark. Like, it's important. Read this, right? Just like that. Okay. So now same thing with the hex editor. We go File, Save, and now that data is saved into the ROM. So if we open it up, we'll go back, open up our emulator, and we're going to open our ROM, the one that we're working on. Let's just see what it does. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. The one thing that's weird about the way that the graphics are laid out is because of a technology called bank switching, which I'm not going to get into, it's not uncommon for there to be multiple instances of the graphic that you're trying to edit and for different instances to get used at different times. Put it this way. Think of it as, pretend these are disks. Pretend that these are floppy disks. Or no, actually, here's better. Here's two chips I've got. Pretend these are both, actually, these are actual Nintendo chips. I'm not sure what game they came out of, but okay, so you've got, here's your two character chips, as we explained. But the Nintendo can only access one at a time. So say you've got all of the stuff for level 1 on here and all the stuff for level 2 on here, right? Well, if you need something, if you look at YYCHR right now, maybe that bank of 16 tiles contains data that we need on 2, right? But then that means that we automatically have to take the picture file along with it onto 2, even though we're not going to use it. So then that means that you could have that picture of the paper on this bank and on this bank because you have to, right? You have to take, you can't just take a few pixels at a time. You have to take them in groups. So I think that's why they did it. So anyways, let's take a look, see if this works. Let's go start down to this one. There it is, and we've got, if you can see, we've got now an exclamation mark for the letter, okay? And what happens when we go and we open up the chest? It opens and we see the top half of the lid. So I wonder if we can edit that. So here's an example of exactly what I'm talking about. By the way, yes, I know that you can't resize this window, and it's annoying, and I don't know why that is. So if I click here, here's 16 tiles, right? But here's another 16 tiles. And so they've obviously organized this in a way that maybe they can get this bush, but that means that they have to, I don't know why they did that. But let's edit this chest so that there is a smiley face inside. So I'll take this brown color, and I'll go like that. Kind of a derpy smiley face, but it'll look okay. That looks kind of weird. And then we'll do this one too, and I'll put a little smiley face in. This one might be better. Takes a lot of work. That's pretty derpy. Let's fix that. Remember, there is no such thing really as a race. You just have to lay down whatever color it is that will do the job. So if you want there to be nothing, then you need to use black. There we go. So we'll go File, Save, NES, Reset. We might actually have to close FCEUX and open up all from scratch when we're doing graphics. I don't recall how this game is laid out in terms of video memory. And open this up. Okay, so here we are. Oh, it's already open though. Oh, it's saved automatically? Well, that's interesting. I wonder if there's another chest somewhere near. No. Okay, let's try opening the other save. Do this one, I think was the one. Yeah, okay. Oh, it didn't work. So that could very well mean that there's just, this is a different chest. So let's look if there's a different chest. There's that opening and that opening. It could also mean that we have to reset FCEUX. If I don't find another chest, I'll reset it, because I think that's probably what the issue is. I just saw another piece of a letter down there. There's a spider. Nope. I think that's it. So let's try, just to see what happens. Let's try reloading this. I'm going to save this again just to make sure it's saved. Recent. Yep. Let's see if it makes a difference. Oh, yeah, okay. So there you go. So when you're doing graphics hacks, you do have to close down FCEUX and then open it up again. So you get the idea. I'm not going to go into too much crazy detail with something like this, but I will show you how to use something like Photoshop if you're going to use it. So let's say that, where's something good? Let's say that you were going to edit that monster guy. Let's find the monster. There he is. Okay. So there's a tile. All right. And let's say that we want to edit him. So we're going to go Control C. That copies it. And for some reason, you know that it's copied because the image gets small. I don't know why. Now let's open up Photoshop. I don't have GIMP installed, but GIMP, if you follow the pointers that I'm saying, GIMP should behave the same way. I can't guarantee how you use the tools in GIMP, but the things you need to keep in mind will work. Okay, so if we go File, New, oops, Create New, and Photoshop will automatically know that we're doing a 32 by 32 pixel image. So we'll click that, and we'll go Control V, and now there's our guy. But that's too small to work on, so we're going to blow him up. Blow it up! Okay. Important things to note. Don't use the paintbrush tool in Photoshop when you're working on these graphics. Don't. The reason why is a paintbrush is always trying to allow you to paint sort of fluidly. And so there's many times when it will try and use dithering, which is basically if you're trying to put color down between two spots and you can't put a pixel where you want to, it'll split the difference and use shading to make it look natural. The problem with that here is that we can only use 4 colors to do any art that we want. And if we use paintbrush, Photoshop will create extra shades that aren't in our palette, and that causes problems with YYCHR. So the first thing we want to do is set our image mode to RGB 16 bits color table indexed color. Okay, flatten layers, yeah, sure. See, it says 8 colors. That's not even cool for me. I wonder if I can go, oh yeah, that's okay, and go okay. Okay, so now these are the only colors that this thing will use because we've switched to index color. The next step is we want to use the pencil tool. We don't want to use the paintbrush tool, we want to use the pencil tool. Make it size 1, no smoothing, 100% opacity. It should just be like when I click here, I get a pixel. Okay. The second thing is you only ever use colors that are available in the picture as it stands. So for example, if I want to erase this guy's eyes, then I have to go click here to the color palette and then select the color. If I'm going to erase it and make him like a no eye man, we'll give him a super derpy face. So if we click here, we get the color. You go okay. Now we can use our pencil tool to erase it. And you'll notice that it's the exact same color and we're good. And I'm going to erase everything that isn't the outline of his face. All right. Now I want to start drawing some stuff. So I'm going to use the drawing color. I'm going to click here, use my color picker to click the color that I want to use, go okay. Now I'm ready to do some art. So click on the pencil again. I'm going to fix this. I don't know why this changed there. And we'll give him like the super derpiest face. There you go. Okay. So there you go. You've got some art that's been done. Obviously, you're going to do crazier, cooler, beautiful, more beautiful stuff. The key here now is we got to be really careful with the pace. So we're going to go Control A to select everything, Control C to copy everything in the selection, Now we're going to switch back to YYCHR. If you're pro, you're going to do something like Alt-Tab, right? Or you can shrink down Photoshop and come back to here if you prefer. Now, without doing anything, without moving the cursor, we're going to go Control-V, and we're going to watch what happens. This might not even work for me. Before I hit paste, pay attention to the colors of the dude. Okay, he's got the light yellow color is like his shirt and stuff. The texture is added with the dark orange. The skin is sort of between the two. Watch what happens. Oh, it worked. Okay, if you look up here, it looks fine. But down here, what happened? The colors changed. Right? The colors changed from this to this. And do you know why that is? That is because there's an extra shade of color somewhere in the Photoshop file. So we can try and fix that now. It's kind of hard, but we can try and fix it. What it means is that there's some dithering that happens somewhere, or there's an extra shade of black. It's likely that there's an extra shade of black. So there's two ways that you can fix this. First, let's take a look at image mode, color table. We still only have those 4. So one of these, 0000, cancel. Oops, okay. Okay, these are all, make sure they're all actually black. Okay. Oops. Cancel. Yeah, what it's doing is it's freaking out because there is a shade of, there's more than one color that's being pasted down. It doesn't like that. So how to go about fixing that? Well, let's do a little searching. How to remove colors from color palette in Photoshop. I got my caps lock on. So how to remove colors in my color palette? How to remove colors from color table in Photoshop. See if I can find a quick answer for you. And if not, I'll just move on to showing you how to fix it. It's very difficult. Change a single color. Yeah. To assign transparency to a color, click the eyedropper tool in the color table dialog box. And click the color in the table or the image. The sample color is placed. Click OK. Oh, so I can do this? Oh, no. Let's check this out. Sorry, folks. Bear with me for a second. Color code for transparency. Means that your child is not transparent. F. Let's try that. Let's see what happens if I assign that. Because the real problem here is that there's more than one black. So if I change this to, oops, B. No, that makes it white. That's no good. Oop. Okay, well, so then here's the way that you fix it. Unfortunately, you have to go through and fix it. So what we'll do is we'll select our black, and you can use the paint bucket tool to fill in the areas of black. And you got to be careful and use a little bit of planning when you do this so that you don't end up erasing a ton of stuff by accident. If that makes sense. You want to make sure that you... See, because the paintbrush tool, the paint bucket tool makes it easy. Watch, see, I can go like that and fix a whole bunch of stuff at the same time, but if there's a gap like that, then you end up filling in things that you don't want to fill in. So let's try oh, we can do this. Color in this one. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas. Oh no, that's not right. Those stay that color. Okay, so now that's chose. We want... This might be where we just have to bite the bullet and do it from scratch again. So we'll pick this color and paint bucket in here so we lose everything. But now we'll just draw on a new face. So where is pencil tool? And we want to use orange, the dark orange. Oops. And we're going to fill in the outside. So yes, it's not lost on me that this is annoying. If I can figure out a better way to fix it, I will post it. The problem is Photoshop is not meant for creating such low resolution stuff, and there's no pixel art programs out there that give you any like tools. They give you just a pixel pointer colorer type thing. You don't get selection and whatnot. So you kind of got to be careful. Oh, we'll make this one wearing sunglasses. Yeah, a big derpy nose. There you go. There's our derp face. Okay, so you get the idea. And same thing now. When I go File, Save, it's incorporated. I haven't gotten to this part in the game yet, so I can't tell for sure if it's going to work, but you guys will figure that out. So there you go. Have at her. If you have any direct questions, let me know. I can make little videos as time goes on. Otherwise, have fun hacking, guys. This is a really cool thing. Before I let you go, actually, I'll give you guys an example of some hacking that people have done. So, okay, hold on. Let's do this. If I go to here, where is it now? There we go. Okay, so here's a hack that I did for my stream. Y'all remember this game? Oops. But it's a little bit different. 16-bit review dudes. Kind of cool. Okay. Did that one. This is a hack I did of my favorite game, Bionic Commando, but now it's 16-bit Commando. Pretty cool. Ironic that it's on an 8-bit system. But more importantly, let me take a look here for... I gotta find... See if I have it here. Hold on a second. Well, let's put it this way. If you go to that same site that I showed you, so let's go to romhacking.net. Let's look up a game that most people know. Let's look up games. Let's look up Castlevania, one of my favorite games. So if you look through, yeah, here you go. And now go look at the hacks, a list of hacks, and there's all these different hacks that people have made. Okay. Castlevania Remix, Castlevania Retold, all these sort of things. There's a hack. I'm just going to pull it up on YouTube. Castlevania God of War. So you guys all know the game God of War. Oh, You guys all know God of War, I'm sure. Well, someone made God of War 2 inside Castlevania. Oh, hey, look, it's what's-her-face.
It's the God of War.
Okay, so what they did is they did all the graphics hacking that I just showed you guys to make Castlevania into God of War. So there's a little Kratos, a little 8-bit Kratos, and he's going into whatever, I don't remember the story. And all it is it's the God of War, or it's the Castlevania game running with the new skin. And all they did to make this is just what I showed you guys, pixeled over the existing art to make it into new stuff, and the game calls the art. The game doesn't know that you changed what art's being displayed. As far as the game's concerned, they're just pixels. So those are the zombies, those are the flying bats. That cat is one of those Hellcat things that jump at you. Right? But it's been redone to look like those are those little power orbs or whatever that Kratos gets. It's pretty impressive. I mean, this is a pretty ambitious project that probably took the guy a long time to make. I'm not expecting that you guys do this crazy of a hack job on this ROM that I found, but just gives you an idea of what's possible out there, right? So anyways, on that note, have at her. If you guys have any questions, let me know. You can email me, and if there's specific questions, I'll make a video up to answer it, or we can talk about it at the club. Otherwise, I hope you guys are enjoying the spring and that school's going well. You're almost done. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon.